Hey guys, it's me, Charmise, aka Professor Mo, and I'm back with another lesson from my public speaking series. Today we are here for lesson 12, and we're talking about dealing with your notes and your slides for your presentation for your speech. I actually love this particular topic because one of the things that I find so troublesome is when students do a visual aid and the visual aid is actually a manuscript for them to read from. It really grinds my gears. So today we're going to talk about why notes are not the enemy. And we are also going to talk about ways to do your notes or bullet points. And then we're going to talk about visual aids. So the first thing I want to talk about is why notes are not the enemy. Like, you can definitely take notes. I have students who have read my feedback and they're like, because you said don't read from the manuscript, I must memorize my speech. I think there's a way to have like a happy medium in there, and I think you got to find it, because reading from a manuscript limits engagement, but relying on or not relying on notes and going straight off the dome sometimes can be really challenging, especially if you haven't rehearsed or if nerves get to you and you lose your place. I think there should be a happy medium. I think it can be really great to have a couple of speaking points. It can be great to have those notes. It's not a bad thing, but don't go rogue and assume you have to memorize a speech, because sometimes memory can fail you. We're all human. So notes are not the enemy. It's about the quality of the notes that you have and how much time you spent with that information, to where it is just a little bit of a safety net for you to refer to as you were speaking. So notes are not the enemy. We can definitely have notes. Manuscript to me is the enemy. My personal opinion, okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk about is using said notes and like bullet points. For me, my baby's coughing. He might be coming close. Let's just be mindful. For your notes and your bullet points, I think having 3 to 5 talking points that walk you into the information that you are sharing is going to matter. So, he went away. Yes. If you have your 3 to 5 talking points, those talking points will lead you to the information that you're going to share. That way, you know exactly what you want to say. You have a general gist of how you can expound on that information and the stories that you can share. But if you rely on a manuscript, you're trying to read word for word and you get caught up because you didn't read the word that you had written on the paper. So if you have, your 3 to 5 bullet points of speaking points, it will lead you in the right direction as long as you rehearse and spend time with that information. So bullet points are your friend. Talking points get you far if you spend enough time with them. If you loosely write them and get up in front of your audience, not having spent time and rehearsed and properly planned, you're planning to fail. The last thing I want to talk about is a little visual aid. Now, I have been an adjunct professor for about 4 years now. Yeah, I just celebrated 4 years. And one of the things that I've had to be the bearer of bad news on is, yes, you did a visual aid, but it was all words. And when you do a visual aid and it is all words, you're staring at the visual aid. So if my door was my PowerPoint presentation and you are my audience, my body is positioned towards my presentation and I'm reading verbatim. Same thing would be if I have my manuscript and I'm looking down in it, that's limiting engagement. If I choose to use a visual aid and turn my body towards said visual aid and read from it verbatim, I'm also turning my body away from the audience and limiting my engagement with the audience, because I have treated my visual aid as a manuscript. Baby, that's not it either. A visual aid should enhance the information that you're sharing. So that looks like different pictures, maybe quotes, maybe a couple key terms. But a visual aid is not a speaking aid. It is not a manuscript. We should not be doing that. So today we talked about just ways to make it run smoothly. ways to make it run smoothly. So in doing your PowerPoint presentation and planning your speaking notes for your speech, you should keep in mind that notes are not the enemy. You should definitely have notes, but you should make notes that are speaking points that allow you to speak freely and not rely too heavily on them. And then you should also have a visual aid that enhances the information that you are sharing and echoes whatever you want to share with the audience, but it should not serve as a manuscript, because a manuscript in any capacity will limit your engagement with the audience. I'll see you guys next time.